Hello, I'm Jashykins, and welcome to another review of the series Elementary, and this time of the episode, One Way to Get Off. I know, it just has to do with getting out of jail. I know that's where the title comes from, but I'm perverted, so, there's not just one way. All I'm saying, I won't say any more about that subject. But this one does a good job at picking up where the last episode left off, in the sense of, who is this Irene? Because Sherlock was not happy about Watson bringing that up in the last episode. In this episode, he acted rationally by, how dare he, basically all his actions and words amount to, how dare you barge into my life? I don't fucking care what your excuse is, but there are some things you do not ask about. And supposedly Sherlock never mentioned Irene because he was heartbroken over her death. And a bunch of fans have said that she's not dead, and I sort of got to agree with that, because as you remember in the pilot episode, it seemed like a woman damaged him, that woman most likely being Irene. It did not look like it was because she died, but because she did something to him. So maybe when he says at the end of this episode she died, and about her death, it means the breakup, not the actual death. And the case this week is really sort of simple and complicated at the same time. Anyways, one guy says he didn't commit a murder, and Sherlock Holmes has to find out if he did it, or if he didn't, who the killer is. It turns out he was the killer, but he was having help from his son, illegitimate son. And so I thought that was a nice little twist. Something they did use in past episodes, but they added something fresh to it by it not being about the money, it's getting the hell out of jail. And there was a whole subplot about planting evidence. And so for a little while I thought it was the woman, but it turned out not to be the case. But yeah, the finding out who Irene was, Watson did poke her nose in a couple places. She was just, I'm going to find out who did this, whose fault it was. Yeah. And so she ends up going to his rehab. And she basically finds out that Sherlock didn't talk about Irene to anyone, but luckily a beekeeper. Yes, beekeeping is basically, I don't know. I don't really know what to call it. It's not really a joke. For those Terminator the Sarah Connor Chronicles fans, pancakes. I'm just going to say that beekeeping is the pancakes of elementary. If you don't get what I'm talking about, if you're not Terminator the Sarah Connor Chronicles fans, it's an inside joke. Watch the show. Yeah. And the beekeeper, oh yeah, back to my main point. Not really the beekeeper, but the groundskeeper, he had held on to a few letters for Sherlock Holmes. And so that's the only thing that Watson gets. And she shows great restraint, and I really respect her character for this, of not immediately going and opening the letters. I don't know if I could have showed that type of restraint. It was just, if something like that tempted me, I don't know how I'd really react. So, good job, Watson, for letting Sherlock Holmes open to you instead of you forcing the door open. There was a cute little line this episode where Sherlock Holmes is like, okay, I forgive you, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to get coffee. And he goes out the door. And Watson's like, what the heck? I mean, come on. Which one of us did not guess he was going to do that? Obviously, he did not want to talk to her. He's been ruined in the past. You shouldn't have fucking let him get that cup of coffee if you wanted to continue the conversation. This is something an idiot could see. And then later, while they're in the police station, he's like, they're talking, and she goes, oh, should I just let you get another cup of coffee? And he goes, or you could just leave. I love Sherlock Holmes. This version in elementary, I like him. Watson being a woman, I've already talked about that enough, so if you want to hear my views, you can see me on Twitter. So yeah. Let's see what else. There's not really much else to talk about here. Nothing else I can figure is important. I think I covered the important things. Elementary, one way to get off. Definitely is a good episode. Expanded the role, not expand the role, but sort of described Sherlock Holmes more. We probably didn't get a truthful answer out of Holmes about Irene, but we did at least get confirmation from him that she did exist and he did know her. So yeah. Can't wait to find more out about Irene. Personally, I don't really care if she's alive or dead. I just want to know more about her, and you can know more about her with her being dead as well as being alive. So, I have been Jashykins, owner at jashykins.blogspot.com. If you want to contact me for whatever reason outside of Twitter, outside of YouTube or my blog, that's right, you can do so at Facebook.com/Jashykins fan page or on Twitter at Jashykins. If you're watching this on the YouTube, subscribe, like, comment below. If you're viewing this on my blog, thank you just for watching. Comment below. And if you want to help support this lovely blog that does more than episode reviews, I got another chapter of SNN done last night. You can support this blog by going to the donate box and choosing both options or one option. You can use the handy dandy donate button, or go below that and you can get a link to my cafe press shop. Thank you very much, and until next video, goodbye. And now I can finally watch Fringe!